My name is Jeremy McGilvrey. I'm the founder of thesecrettosuccess.com and San Antonio Mastermind, and I am obsessed with learning strategies when it comes to social media. Because I believe the number one reason why businesses go out of business is because they don't get enough attention. They go into obscurity. And I'm launching a new software company called GetMassiveAttention.com, where it's a service that's going to allow you to really drive a tremendous amount of traffic to Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Those are the only three I've been able to dominate at this point, not Facebook yet. But it really puts an incredible sales funnel together for that. There'll be no bull, Loney, in this class. This is straight stuff that I have tested and that works. And I always tell people, hold on. Okay, we're good. But I always tell people I like starting with analogies. So I think pictures help us understand how we work. And the analogy I like to use in the internet industry is, in 1934, this is kind of what the cars looked like. 20 years later, 16 years later, this is what the cars look like. Today, this is what they look like. Now, where am I going with this? Facebook started in 2004. YouTube 2005, Twitter 2006, Instagram, and now you have Snapchat's becoming a pretty dominant player as well. I believe that this is what the cars looked like when Facebook started. This is what they look like today, and this is where we're going. We haven't seen anything yet when it comes to technology and social media. Cars now, they start themselves, park themselves, some of them fly. And so making certain that you're going to understand how profound social media, the impact it can have on your business. And this is a business class. This is to help your businesses grow. This isn't, can I get more likes on my selfies? So I'm sure when people watch some of the replays on this, they're going to be looking for those tips. That's not it. This is strictly business. I always want to say, when it comes to these social media hacks, some of the things that I'm going to show you today are literally hacks. These are cracks in the system that I've found that has enabled me in a very short amount of time, about 2 years, to grow a following of more than 100,000 people. Each one of you are going to have to promise that we do not use these hacks for evil. Because if any of you follow me on social media, I got in trouble with one of my hacks almost a year ago today, April 1st. I figured out how to put a code into Facebook, and when that code went in there, whoever clicks it, it goes back to your page. So if you click it, it goes to your page. You click it, it goes to your page. Somebody was sending me inappropriate pictures. I don't want to put them out there, but this is the link to their Facebook. It was going back to their own Facebook accounts. I actually got a court order on this. And some of the messages, I'm a huge fan of yours, Jeremy. I never sent you any bad pictures. And it actually got pretty nasty. I went to check who you were talking about, and I am not sending you any kind of this, any kind. Please do not slander me in any way. I would never send anyone. You get the picture. So I think that it's comical in that sense, but there's other pieces that you can use to grow your business. So we're going to go through a bunch of things today that's going to talk about protecting your accounts, and it's also going to talk about primarily growing. There's all kinds of ways to advertise these days. This is pretty much all of them. I put a poll out on my Twitter, and I said, social media is the most effective and cost-efficient way to market your business. And out of 103 people that took this, or 123 people that took this, every single one agreed. There could be bias because they're already there on social media, but I firmly believe that that's true. Social media is by far the very best way to market your business. Because when you're on the internet, if they can't find your business, find reviews, find who you are, you don't exist. And that's why I think social media is absolutely the answer when it comes to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Grant Cardone, if you know who Grant is, he is probably one of the top 5 social media experts on the planet. He has close to 1 million followers, and he has the largest live webinars, live Grant Cardone used systems out there. And this is a video that I hacked, I took, and I stripped a piece of it. And I put it up here because why I'm so passionate about teaching this class is because I spent a boatload of money and time and heartache hiring people to teach me how to do this stuff, and most of them really didn't know what they were doing. And it comes back to the vantage point. Never take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with.
I know people that on social media, they're the gurus of social media and they don't even have any followers. Right, good for you that you can sell that service, but man, where's the real deal? I want the real deal. And everybody out there watching, you can become susceptible to guys that are just not honest.
So it's really important when you're taking advice from somebody or you're working with someone, if they want to build you a website, what's their website look like? You know, you should always be your own best customer. That's important. It's like taking advice for weight training from this gentleman, or trusting a skinny chef, or my all-time favorite, going to an unmarried marriage counselor. It doesn't make sense. So anyhow, again, on Facebook, I'm not the most dominant person in the world when it comes down to millions of followers, but I have been able to garner 100,000 people in 2 years, and I think most people would agree if you look at my stuff, my engagement is off the chart. A lot of what you'll learn today, I try to tell everyone that I work with, you know, if you worked with USA, you may have to unlearn some of the things that they taught you and relearn some of the new strategies that New York Life is going to teach you. And touching real quickly, because one of the most important questions I get from everybody, when's the best time to post? When should I post my stuff so my target audience sees it the most? I've personally done a lot of studies, and they call it A/B testing. I've done A through Z testing over and over again. There really is no perfect time, but there was some science that went into Facebook. They said 1 p.m. got the most shares. And every one of these slides are going to be available on something called slideshare.net/Jeremy McGilvrey, and I'll make sure that you have a link available in the meetup for that. 3 p.m. gets the most clicks. Twitter, they said noon was the highest CTR in social media, means click-through rate. 5 p.m. the highest retweets. LinkedIn was 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I'm not going to talk about email today, but I do a ton with email marketing. And I have my very best open rates at about 9:15, whatever time zone they're in, Tuesday mornings. I don't know what the rhyme or the reason is for that, but I do a lot of email marketing, and it's really important that people are paying attention to what you're sending them. The very first hack I want to show people is people don't know that you can back your Facebook account up. And I'm going to go through step by step how to back your Facebook account up. You'll go to this little button right here in the corner, and then you'll hit settings. And why do you want to do this? If you have videos, if you have images, if you have messages from your customers that you've exchanged back and forth, it's a good idea to have a record of these things and keep them in a file. And I highly recommend people that use a lot of their Facebook for business to do this once a quarter. You'll go, as soon as you go to your settings, you're going to download a copy of your Facebook. Start my archive. It's going to ask for your passcode. You'll hit the blue button, and it will begin downloading and send you an email in about 4 days. It depends on how much stuff you have on your Facebook, but be looking for it. And you'll have your photos, your videos, all of your chat messages, your about information in there. And this is something that I think is really important because a lot of people store a bunch of pictures of their family on their Facebooks. And again, I think it's important for messages for businesses. Another idea for Facebook, a mistake that I've made for a long time, when you go to your messages, there's something called filtered messages. What that means is spam. I generally get about 1 to 2 people a week asking to do business with me through my personal Facebook account that's going to my spam folder. And I kind of blocked out the people that send me stuff in spam because I wanted to protect their privacy. But I think a lot of us would open up a huge window of opportunity if we went to that filtered part and saw all the people that were trying to connect with us. I had literally a person Monday. I am wondering how much your one-on-one coaching rates are. Like Analyzer. And you'll see this is likeanalyzer.com. You can put your Facebook page, this is not for profiles, this is for pages only. Everyone knows the difference between a page and a profile? A page is your personal page. I'm sorry, goodness. A profile is your personal stuff. A page is where you do business. A business page, a community page, a public figure page, a facility. You can put that information in here and it will tell you, I'll use Grant Cardone. It'll tell you what you're rating, and this is just scrolling down the screen. It shows what your growth rates are, milestones, but what I like most about it is it tells you what you're doing wrong. You should be asking more questions. You're not using hashtags. Your response rate, not like mine, you'll see. It's catastrophic. I'm horrible at that. Brandon Bouchard, another massive social media guru. You'll see that they're trying to show his times. His timing is way off. They'll even teach you when your audience is engaging in your content the most. So this is a free app, like Analyzer, and you can plug your information in there and it will give you data. Because I think that one of my all-time favorite quotes is by Peter Ducker. He says, what gets managed gets measured. Or maybe it's backwards. What gets measured gets managed. Either way, it's important to be measuring everything that you're doing and testing it out. This is one of my all-time favorite Facebook tools. If you're running ads on Facebook, and I think running ads on Facebook right now is by far the very best way to attract your demographic, because Facebook has spent $20 billion on research on who our best customers are, and there's methods that we can use to go after those customers and spend way less money than the old shotgun approach. But what this does is it lets you put your image inside of the ads manager if you go to that link, and you can only have 20% text on your images for Facebook to approve them for an ad, Instagram as well. This can cause a lot of heartache if you're trying to put ads out, they're getting disapproved and you don't know why, you don't know what's going on. But if you can instantly upload your image in here, put your ad in there, and it will tell you, and you'll see I did a different one. This one tells me it's 48% text. There's a different hack I can show you how to get some of this stuff through, and I've been able to get this one through. But for the rule of thumb, try to keep your text to 20%. There's a reason why Facebook they want you to be successful, because they want you to continue spending money with them. Again, all these slides will be available, but that grid tool is very important when you're running ads. I threw this slide in here because this is a customer avatar. And what that means is, I think a lot of people are out there doing business and they don't know who their target customer is. You need to think about, who is it you're trying to attract? Who are you trying to get business from? Because none of us, Coca-Cola, Apple, they can't afford to advertise to everybody. When I teach a marketing class, I always write marketing vertically. Because I want them to know you need to be deep in a market and not wide inside of a market. So this is something that will be attached in the slides. And I would highly recommend, before you run ads, before you start prospecting, get crystal clear about who you're going to prospect. These 3 fill in the blanks have been my most successful in all the years I've done them, to get attention on Facebook, to get people to engage, to get them to fill this information out. And that's the name of the game. You want people engaging on your whatever it is that you're putting out there. So ask them, if you go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? Ask them the one word that best describes my work day to day. That's always been the one that's got the most attention by far. This year, I will definitely be crossing blank off my list. These are 3 great questions, and I think an error that people make, a fallacy if you will. They think that if they ask these questions once, okay, that's the last time I can ask that. No. And about a month later, 2 months later, ask it again. Reproduce what works. Hack number 2. This one's good. I learned this one not too long ago. This is for LinkedIn. The way this hack works is, when you publish on LinkedIn, you can put a status, which means like a post on Facebook, or you can publish a post. And that's generally like a blog or something like that. So what this hack is going to do is we're going to publish a post. And when we hit that publish a post button, it's going to send us over here. And then once we have that post published, that post will be showing up like I put top 5 reasons why business owners should be using Instagram, invest in yourself, the importance of self-discipline. So we have that post that we've added to our LinkedIn account. Now we're going to take that post, we're going to click on it, and we're going to go down to the share button. Well, Jeremy, why would I share a post that is put in LinkedIn? Follow me. Once you hit that share button, you're going to put post to groups. When you click the button post to groups, this will pop up. So this is your post, and then you'll want to start typing in different groups that you're a part of. And if you're not a part of groups on LinkedIn, go find the biggest ones that are your target demographic. Once you go find those, you go through the alphabet. What do I mean? On your computer, it's Q, W, R, T are the top ones. You'll hit Q. You'll hit Q and see if anything pops up. Nothing pops up because it will pre-populate if you're a part of any group that starts with a Q. You'll go to the next letter on your keyboard. You'll hit that, see if anything pops up. Some of them, like T, 2 or 3 things will pop up. And I'll put all of those inside of this group. Take you 2 minutes to do. I'll put a title in here. I'll generally ask a question. This is the importance of self-discipline, a blog I wrote for my website. I've always believed if you will live a few years in your life, if you'll live a few years in your life like most people wouldn't, you can live the rest of your life like most people couldn't. Do you agree? Questions are great ways to get that engagement. But you'll press the share button, and this post right here will go out to almost 600,000 people. That's called massive attention. I just learned that one not too long ago. Number 3, and this is the one to use carefully. Inside of your LinkedIn accounts, again, you are able to extract everybody's email addresses that are connected with you to market to. Be very careful with the Can-Am spam law. My best understanding of it is make absolutely certain the first email you send out is not a sales email. You're not asking them to buy anything. And make absolutely certain on the bottom of all of your emails, they are able to unsubscribe. And if you're using MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber, I could teach a whole class on email marketing because I think that is the best way to get in front of people for the money these days. So you go to your connections, you'll hit the little sprocket, you'll hit Export LinkedIn Connections. And it will begin to export them in a CSV file, separated. And there's several things you can do with this for targeting aspects. We won't get into all of those. On LinkedIn, through a ton of surveys, the number one thing people are looking for when they want to hire someone or do business with them, they want to see their endorsements. If you'll see, there's 99 in sales, 99 in entrepreneurship, 99 pretty much, and that's the max you can get. That's the number one thing that every survey found that people are looking for when they want to figure out who they're doing business with. If you have someone that has 6 endorsements, 2 endorsements, that weighs pretty heavily. And do you want to know the very best way to get endorsements? Go endorse other people. Asking will work as well. This is a hack on Twitter that really helped me. Every doggone time I said, why did I not know this a long time ago when I first got started on Twitter? Twitter is difficult to get engagement, but once you start getting engagement on Twitter, this is a diamond in the rough that a lot of people are missing out on. When you go to your target audience, let's say that you're in fitness and you want to go find a fitness person that has a big following. What most people are taught to do is to start following their followers, because they're going to get a notification, so-and-so followed me, and they might be more inept to follow you back. This is what the software I developed that actually does a lot of this stuff for you. But anyhow, that's a mistake. Do not go follow your target audience's followers. Boy, do I wish I would have done this a long time ago. Go follow their retweeters. And so what you'll do is you'll touch right here if you're on it on your phone, or you'll tap right there if you're on this on your computer, and then you'll touch the number of retweeters and you'll start following these people. You're doing this because you want to follow active people that are engaged. They might have somebody who's following them that hasn't been active in 2 years. What's the point of them following you? My Twitter account is probably one of my largest, and about every 24 hours, 25,000 people see what I put out. That adds up pretty quickly over a year. This goes back to the polls. I think that if you're super active, once a day you should be asking a poll. Just get something that people, what's your favorite color? Blue, green, yellow. What's your favorite holiday? List out some holidays. But this is going to get them to engage. Their friends are going to see that they engaged, and you'll have a better opportunity than following you. On Twitter, there's several different apps. The one I like the best is Crowdfire. This is super important. When somebody follows you, this app will send them an automatic direct message to their inbox. Mine says this: thank you so much for following me. I'm committed to providing success tips daily. Please visit my website to learn more about me at secret2success.com. And the link is right there. They just have to click on the link. We're tracking almost 74.5 opt-ins directly from Twitter a day. That's huge. Most people don't get that a month directly from Twitter because they're getting this direct message. How do you do this? If you go to that crowdfire.com, and I think if you don't want it to say in your message, this message was sent by Crowdfire, you have to pay $10 a month or $20 a month. But if you're okay with it saying that, which I don't think it's a good idea for them to say that, then you have to pay $10 or $20 a month. Very minimal for them to go out and automate every person that follows you to get a direct message. Okay. Social media hack number 5. And this is the very best one for last. This is the number one piece of software that is 100% free to you that I wish I would have known years ago. I would have given anything to know this years ago. What does ITFF do? IFTT, sorry. They create recipes for us. And the guy who showed me this, I hired a guy, paid thousands of dollars for him to coach me on social media. We're sitting in Houston at a coffee shop. He goes, I'm going to show you something that you're not allowed to show anybody else. This is where our bread and butter is. And when he watches this on the replay, which I'm sure he will somehow, he's going to say, you're telling everybody one of the best kept secrets for social media managers. And this, without a question, is it. You need to watch YouTube videos on this piece. You need to go play with this software, because what I've been able to make it do is I'll post something on my Facebook page and it will spit it out to LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, Flickr, and Twitter. One touch of a button. And it's automatic, set it and forget it. There's other softwares that do something similar to this, but let me tell you the massive error that they're making. When they take your Instagram picture and they put it onto your Twitter, you know what they do? They put the URL code of the image. So let's say you'll put a motivation that says, a quote that might say, "There's no better time to start than now." And then you'll put a quote up above it that says, "Never allow procrastination to lead to stalling, to lead to regrets." When that gets shared in most softwares to your Twitter account, it'll put your text, but the image, it will be a clickable link. And the likelihood that they're going to click that link and go over to your Twitter account is next to none. So having that put in there the right way, and I don't have time to go post on Pinterest. You know, I picked up 1,000 followers on Pinterest just in maybe 8 weeks, and all I'm doing is I finally figured out how to put this system in place to where it shoots my Facebook and my messages over there for me. You put the code in there one time and it's done. You don't go do it ever again. And then where the real beauty of this is, and this is something that a short code that you'll have to add into this, is you'll reoccur it. And where the magic comes in with that reoccurring is what you're posting today, you easily could be putting that out in 6 months from now or 4 months from now and 9 years from now and just let it go. Because social media is so doggone difficult to try to manage yourself, to try to see what's taking place. And nobody is going to care about your business as much as you do. I've worked with some of the best social media managers where they're going to charge you these extraordinary amount of money and say how great they are. Most of the time their accounts have no interactions on them. But when customers reply or when they're putting information out there, they're not putting information out there that's as good as you can. And there's a lot of things that you can post today about your business, whether it's just a great logo and your link for your website, that you might want that going out every Monday morning on your Twitter account. So you'll set it one time, say every Monday morning at 9 a.m., because that's my highest engagement time, I want people to be having a clickable link to go to my website. So this is the best, by far, kept secret in all of social media. And there's some really strong things you can do inside of this to make it go search fields for you and bring you leads and bring you prospects. I knew I wouldn't have time to really get real deep into that. I would love to do a class just on this, how incredible this system is.
So that one's free?
Free.
So out of all the things that you told us, the only thing that's not free is the Facebook ads?
Well, you have to pay for your Facebook ads, and also if you send that direct message without the send by Crowdfire, it might be $10 a month or something like that. Your headlines are very, very important. When you're putting a headline out, that's the first thing that people are reading. There's a free piece of software, Headline Analyzer, CoSchedule, that when you put the headline in there, it will automatically put it into a formula. And you might want to watch for this headline, 7 Secrets Guaranteed to Skyrocket Your Success, a book that's coming out on Amazon in March. It gave me a B+ for my headline there, but I liked it enough to overrule them. Plus, they're very strict on your headlines that they're putting out there. But they'll tell you what you're doing wrong. You're using common words. You're not using enough emotional words. There's no power words in there. Or the wording is too long. The headline I used for this class, 5 Killer Social Media Hacks, I thought was good. They gave me a C+. But with the amount of the attention that was drawn to this class, I think that it worked. It will tell you the length of how long the characters are. It will show you exactly what it's going to look like if it were to be brought up in Google search results. That's always something good to see. And then it will tell you the keywords when people are searching. If you know anything about algorithms, I can't spell the word, but I can say it. That's what dictates how people search, is by keywords and what Google puts their algorithm in to see what they're going to populate and show people.
So you can use that hand in hand with, like with YouTube when you're posting videos and the keywords and all of that.
Mm-hmm. On YouTube, you need to make absolutely certain in your title, your keyword, and your name, or the name of your company is inside of there. And a brand new hack I learned 2 days ago on YouTube is there's a code that you can put. It's just a certain letters and numbers. embedded into your URL, which all you do is hit custom URL, and every time someone goes to your YouTube channel, a pop-up will pop up and say, want to subscribe. That is strong, because you have a much better opportunity for people to subscribe than them to go off and do that on their own. I didn't like pop-ups, but I started using them, just testing on my own websites, and pop-ups work. You are crazy if you're not using pop-ups right now. They absolutely work.
And that one, is that on the actual video or it just comes up on the screen?
So let's say that they type into YouTube, and YouTube's the second largest search engine out there, and your video comes up and they start watching your video. Well, in a few seconds, a pop-up's gonna come up on the screen and say, want to subscribe, and it'll have a little red button to subscribe. You might as well take the opportunity to get them to subscribe to your channel.
The video will stop.
And that's free
It'll
too?
stop until they
Free.
sign
So they'll
up.
have to do something.
Well, it's a code. Inside of some of these Facebook groups, people will post, hey, I just invented this really cool thing that works, and they'll only generally do it if they can run it by YouTube, because they don't want to put something out there that's going to get you in trouble. And I looked at some of the other forums, it was completely legitimate. It's a code that you put after your YouTube channel, and the pop-up comes up like magic. And I just learned this a couple days ago, but I mean, I have maybe 600 subscribers on my YouTube channel right now. We're about to start running an ad campaign for it. And I picked up about 5 or 6 a couple days ago. I don't know if it was because of that. But this is an app that I like to use for hashtags. And it's a free app. Hashtags are really important if you're using Instagram. And I believe that Instagram is the best social media platform for every business to be on right now, because it's the only social media platform where 100% of your posts are seen by your followers. That doesn't happen on Twitter, Google+, Facebook. They have their own algorithm of who sees what. But because of the way Instagram is done, everything you post goes out there, and it's the reason why 8 months ago I got really serious about Instagram, and now I've got more than 10,000 followers on there, a lot of engagement, and when I put a landing page to go out there, I get hundreds of opt-ins. I don't do it all the time, I probably do it once or twice a week, but Instagram is the place to be for businesses. I wrote a blog post on my website, top 5 reasons why businesses should be on Instagram, and you can find that on thesecrettosuccess.com. This is an app where you'll type in your hashtag. Let's say that their example is travel. You'll press search, and it will shoot you over the top hashtags that are related to travel. All you'll do is you'll touch them, and then at the bottom, you could miss this, copy hashtags. Same as cut and pasting. When you get to your Instagram, you'll put your hashtags. And here is another secret. You do not put your hashtags in your description. You put your hashtags in the comments, because you don't want to crowd the description with a bunch of hashtags. The hashtags really aren't there for people to see, they're there for people to search. And so you just want them to see that text that you have on your Instagram there. This is that app, Crowdfire. And another thing that I like about it is, in a very simple manner, you can go through your pages and start tapping those buttons, and it will get rid of every person that's not following you. And this is important because you need people to be paying attention to what you're doing. It's not as important that you pay attention to what other people are doing. The name of the game for businesses on social media is you need to get as many eyeballs as humanly possible on you. And so if you're going to go out and follow people to attract them to come follow you, Instagram is only going to allow you to follow 7,500 people, and that's it. So you need to unfollow people when you're working with processes to follow them back. And that was why I spent a ridiculous amount of time developing this software, because it will do it for you. It goes out, engages your target market, like what it does on Instagram. This is so cool. Because I know that you only want to target people that engage, like you only want to target people that retweet, you don't want to just target followers. So it will go out and figure out, let's say that I want to target Tony Robbins followers. It will go to Tony Robbins' followers, and it will only follow his followers that have liked one of his posts in the last 24 hours. And we have to code it the right way to where it won't like too many people, but generally it will like their last 3 posts and it will follow them, so they'll get those notifications. And then after 3 days, if they don't follow you back, we unfollow them. And it generates about 80 to 90 new followers a day. Some mistakes that I see people make when it comes to social media is that they have too many different names attached. You need to have the same name for your Twitter, your Instagram, your Pinterest, your Facebook. Congruency is really important, because if someone follows you on Instagram and says, I want to check out their Facebook stuff, and you have one name there and a different name somewhere else, that makes it really difficult for them to find you. And something that I even started doing a year ago, I'll use the same profile image on all the profiles. So if they're following me on Instagram and they say, oh, I want to check his stuff out on Twitter, oh, well, of course that's him. That's exactly what he looks like on Twitter. What's my next one? Oh, this is one that really bothers me.
Did you say the same picture too?
Same profile picture on every one of them. So if your picture is your logo, put your logo on the same of everything. If your picture is your image, if you're your logo, put that on there. When you're sending these direct messages out, if you go into one of these apps and when people follow you, you want to send them a direct message, and there's almost a way that this can work on Instagram. They haven't quite got it down right to where you can send the direct messages on Instagram when they follow you too, but they will not allow clickable links inside of there, but they do on Twitter. When you send these direct messages, you'll notice mine is 1 sentence. I think maybe actually it's 2 sentences. I get direct messages from people that connect with me that have softwares like this that are paragraphs and paragraphs long. When it comes to building on social media, you have to earn people's trust to read your stuff. When I start working with a company's social media platform and they want to put out these long blog posts, that's one of the worst things that they could do. Short quotes, short images, get people to pay attention to what you have, and then we can go into a little bit longer material. That's the same thing when it comes to these messages. The first time that you contact with these people, short and brief. Thank you so much for following me. I'm committed to providing weight loss tips on a regular basis. Hope to connect with you soon. Something super simple like that. And then try to do a better job of going and responding to the messages that you get from people. I'll go back and show you in a second. It gets, it gets really difficult. I'll get 220 messages and stuff like that that will be going back, and it's the same on all of them. But that's where I think some of the outsourcing or some of your staff members can just have a super simple, generic message that they can say. Consistency is the absolute key when it comes to posting. When you pump a well, you pump, you get water out of it, and then you don't have to pump as hard. It's the same on social media. There's no such thing as you're closed. All this stuff should be scheduled out. I think it should be scheduled out in that IFTT program to where it is on an automatic system, and every now and again you're putting out special offers and special content. And I always say, use your social media to impact people with your message, not to impress them. No one cares about, well, not no one cares, but if you're trying to build your brand and build your message, there's a lot of things that I think aren't business oriented for a lot of people when it comes to promoting what they're doing. The group y'all are here today, I think that you're probably more understanding to what your demographic looks like, but all it takes is one stupid thing to ruin lots of years of hard work. There's a great quote, you always get a lot from me. It says, if you're patient in the moment of anger, you'll save yourself hundreds of hours of sorrow. And that can apply to social media if you happen to post something when you're not happy with a situation. Branding, I think, is key. It takes a long time to build a brand. Keep it consistent inside of there. This is another PDF that I'm going to have available. These are the top images throughout all the years that I've got attention on. Let me see. I like stuff like name your favorite book, because then you're going to get people to actually engage with your post. That's worked really well on Instagram. Canva is where I used to make all my images. I have somebody else help me with that now. One of my friends, Yusuf, taught me this free piece of software that's available online. I don't know how they do all this stuff for free, but 100% free. And you'll note the social media one on this side, this is for Instagram. The Facebook post, probably for Facebook. I would recommend.
With Canva, most of them are free, but then some of the nicer photos.
Well, if you want to get their,
yeah.
you're right. If you want to get their, if you want to use their photos or whatever, then there might be $1 charge for those. But most of the time, I'm taking my own photos.
Really reasonable.
That's very, and putting them in there, and then I'm typing the text or having the text go over the top of them and putting my website or my logo. A mistake that I made for a long time is I wasn't putting my logo on everything. The logo needs to be in everything.
So this text, these quotes that you're posting, is this all you, or are you taking quotes from other people?
95% of the time, it's other people's quotes.
So you don't, no quotations, no.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I feel like if Oprah's the person that's inside of there and it says you get in life what you have the courage to ask for, I'm hoping I don't even know. That may or may not be Oprah. I probably got the image from someone I outsourced.
You don't have like any copyright or any concerns like that?
Zero.
Quotes are public domain.
I think that when you go to Google and you take an image from Google, there's several copyright infringement issues on side of there. But when you're trying to build your business, if you're putting images out there and you're not holding yourself out to be the owners of this stuff, I think that there's a lot of other issues I would be concerned with than something like that. Canva, again, is absolutely amazing. And I want to go back. I recommend everybody use the social media block. Don't even use the Facebook one. Why? Because you can use that image for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. As opposed to if you use that Facebook image on Instagram, it's not going to look right. It's going to crop out some of the stuff. So it works with Instagram. It works with Facebook, but Facebook doesn't work with Instagram. And instead of reinventing the wheel, let's keep it simple and try to make all of your images in that side over there. And there's a lot of great tools inside of Canva that you can shape and crop and put your quotes, put lines over.
So you said this is the first one you use?
This is pretty much all I use. There's another software called PicMonkey I'll use sometimes, but personally I outsource all of this stuff. But when I was doing it myself, or if I want to do it myself, I'll go grab an image, drop it in here, and then make whatever it is.
If you were to do all the things that you're recommending by hand, how long is that going to take, like, an individual to do that? If you're doing it, say you want to hit all the social network sites in a day, how much time?
I'm telling you, the beauty of that IFTT plan is amazing, because even if you use Hootsuite or Buffer, which people are using, and you click the little boxes and it sends them to there, they're going to send them the wrong way. They're not going to send them the right way. But all you have to do is go post to your Facebook, and once you put it on your Facebook, the software is going to automatically send it to Pinterest, Instagram, Google+, all these other platforms for you. And so I think that if you could, 3 images a day are what you need to be putting on your social media platforms. And
So just put it to like your Facebook.
it's done. It's done.
You said you're outsourcing this though, right? I mean,
that was
is
for
there
the salon,
Filipino
right?
or like some...
Indonesia is primary in India, and as much as I want to be 100% prideful of where we live and what we're doing, the exact same work that I was paying $3,300 for, I'm getting for $80. And I don't mean that crazy, and I tip well, if that makes me feel better, but it's insane how incredible your outsourcing can be. Now, it took me years and years and years to find the right ones, and I went through nightmares. I lost clients because I had crappy work, and I tried to fix it myself. But once you get the right outsourcers, oh my God.
Can you recommend a company?
Maybe.
You're talking about...
Depends on what exactly that you're looking for, and you get some of the right people overseas, It's insane. It baffles my mind how they're able to produce so much work.
So you're talking about the individual responding, right, to messages and stuff like that? Or?
I'm talking about building my images. I'm talking about posting my images. I'm talking about replying to my people, notifying me if a crisis comes up, and pretty much once you put a formula in place, and I am a planning fool. I plan out everything. At this time I want this. At this time I want this. I want these to look like this. I want this to go here. And once you put the formula in place and you get the right people that will just do what I say, don't be creative, they'll do it. But one of the things that I've been able to have a lot of success with on my other clients that are putting blog posts out is there's some writers, there's some graphic design people out there that put out incredible work, and they're doing it for $15 for an incredible real estate blog with 1,500 words. Right. And you read it, and there's something called copy space, copy cape.
I go to Fiverr a lot. Do you ever use Fiverr?
I used to use Fiverr. There's a couple places I'll use them a little bit now for, but that was some of my nightmares. There's Odesk, now it's Upwork, there's Elance, there's of course Fiverr, but the way my contacts have came to me have been through friends of mine that have used people and said, Jeremy, this guy is amazing, you should use him. And then I go do business with those people. And it's the same with me, as I'll find somebody. I'm very hesitant to ever give my people out because I don't want you to overwork my people, because I promise you I am.
So even when they have like a high rating, when you go in there and see that everybody else is rated them to be really good, they still kind of mess up your business a little bit?
Everything can be bought. Everything.
Everything can be what?
Bought. Ratings can be bought. Feedback can be bought. Everything can be bought.
Now, so the key thing is you want to generate engagement to all your social media sites. Number one, you showed us some hacks on how to do that. Number two, you're saying that asking questions on your social media sites are one technique to engage your potential client or customers base. And should like the questions be geared towards like general questions like what's your favorite color, or should it be geared towards like, you know, what your business line is, like, you know?
I think they should be general questions that you will get a response for 70% of the time, and 30% of the time geared towards your business. And I would spend some time thinking about those business questions, if you will. For financial advisors, you know, what's most important to you? Protecting your assets, growing your assets, both. And get that out there on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And then here's where the magic comes in. Mr. Smith, saw you commented protecting your assets was important to you, couldn't agree more, would love to get together and talk about that over a cup of coffee. Now this person's not going to do business with you at that point. They're probably not even going to respond to you at that point. That's okay. But this is where we wear them down. The woman that's pregnant just walked in, I wore her down. She told me no 1,000 times. But
So, but all that stuff you're talking about, the whole thing, you outsource all of that?
pretty much everything right now. It took me a while to
For
find.
$80 per what?
Well, that was for example, to sometimes design an entire WordPress website. I was paying on average $3,300 for that, and I've got people doing it for $80 now.
And you're not worried about, since it's overseas, I don't know if you have like protection over your ideas or whatever, but you're not worried about them stealing your ideas and going, or you don't care because it's overseas?
I'm convinced that some of them take some of my ideas that I use, but the magic in ideas where everybody goes wrong, I might own the domain, thesecrettosuccess.com, but there are no secrets. This stuff's written down in books. You know where people go wrong? The execution.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to execute like me. And so I have no problem with putting my ideas out there. My friend that says, keep this IFTT software, don't let people know about it, I'm going to tell everybody I can about it. I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg to figure out how to grow your business, but if I add enough value to your life and I give you enough ideas, when I do ask you for money or when I do ask you or show you an opportunity, you're not even going to hesitate. You're just going to say, here. And that's the way I think that works. See where we are. There's some podcasts that I found very helpful. And again, think back to where I opened about social media and the car analogy. 30 years into the car being invented, no innovation took place. We're not even 30 years into social media. We're going to see ridiculous innovation. We're going to see ways that people are going to make more wealth, have pipelines that are so full of prospects through social media opportunities. And there'll be another class that I'll be teaching soon called your funnel. How to put prospects in your funnel and how to work them through your funnel. And this will be a pixel class on how we target people. And then how we drip on them through email marketing and close them to do business. I know it was a lot of information. And this is one of the funnier slides I always like to put up and show people. And closing with information overload. I know that in a very short amount of time, we went from backing your Facebook up to how much text can go into Facebook ads to blowing information out in LinkedIn groups to who do we follow and target on Twitter to where do we put hashtags inside of Twitter. And that's the spot where tomorrow by noon, I'll commit to you, you'll be able to find each one of these slides. And I always ask if you'll go to our meetup page and give us a 5-star, a good review about the information and show that it was useful. Let me grab something I wanted to hand out and I'll open up for some more questions.
I know a lot.
When I talked about headlines being so important by getting people's attention, I paid $97 almost a year ago from Digital Marketer to get headlines that you just fill in the blank. And I didn't make copies of this. I'll probably try to put this on a PDF and attach it in there, but I'll hand a couple of them out and they're all different. They're not the same. Threat headlines, social headlines, gain headlines. But you can see kind of how it will apply to your business. Where, desired result, and how to get it. What questions?
I think we all want, or at least maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but your VA contacts and iPads and emails.
Oh gosh, it is tough to find the right ones. You know, since, what time is it?
Just test them first, right?
8:24. I'll take 5 more minutes. Social media and the internet is not as complex as you might think. I'm a finance guy. I know numbers. I don't know code and software, but I absolutely am obsessed with how you can work smart and how I can sit here and teach this class and probably have about 65 people buy a class like I just taught right here for $40. Well, I sat here and taught this class, and figuring out how to make a business run to generate revenue while you're not physically trading your time for your money is absolutely important. And the internet and social media can do it. The most important thing to understand is pixels. And please don't think that this is a complex thing. Look some information up on there. All pixels are is you're going to take a pixel, a code that Facebook's going to give you, or Google, or whatever one you're using, and you're going to put that on your website. And there's a plugin. All you do is you install, you should be using WordPress if you're not. There's a plugin that you put, and what that pixel is, when someone comes to your website, they fire a cookie, whatever it is, and now they start tracking these people. And so if they go to Facebook, and let's say that you have a kid's haircut facility, Facebook knows probably when kids need their haircut. They know what demographic they are. They know what zip code to put into these people. They know where they are, and so you might want to put some type of a special or some type of an opportunity or some type of a celebrity that's going to be at a certain place, and then I would get their emails to be dropped in there. You know, top 5 worst haircuts 6-year-olds get. What mother is not gonna get something like that? I don't know how I come up with that. But then they start getting an email that goes out to them that just shows what is happening. You want to keep them top of mind. I hear great things. I see people checking in all the time at your place, so you have a top of the line, top notch facility. But you want to do the best you can to stay in front of these people at all times. And putting together a system that allows it to work for you, because now when people are on Facebook, you're just going to follow them around. Every one of us have done it. We went and looked at a pair of sunglasses or a pair of shoes, and the next thing you know, there's ads for that stuff everywhere we go. That's not a complex thing to do. It's very, very simple. What else?
I just have kind of, I guess, a general question. Whenever say if I post something through Facebook or Instagram on my personal page, this is just me being kind of, I hate quality and stuff. But whenever I post it on my personal page, it'll show up as HD and it'll give the option for HD. But when I post it on the business page, the same video, the same exact way, it's standard definition and the same thing when I put it on Instagram.
Okay, there's a software that's free. I don't know what it is, but if you'll give me 10 minutes when we finish up, I'll give you what it is. And one of my buddies saw one of my videos, and he said, Jeremy, use this software, upload it to that first, and it will automatically put it on there the right way. And so it's something that you'll upload the video to this other software, it will configure it for you, and then it will spit it out the right way. I want to touch on a real quick point though, when he talked about his personal page to the business page. Facebook is only giving between 2 and 5% engagement on your pages. Honestly, I think that posting stuff on Facebook, you should do it, but it's primarily for running advertisement. You're not going to get a whole lot of engagement. You have 1,000 people on your page. What is 2% of 1,000? What is 5% of 1,000? However, there's a new hack, and I'll leave with this one, that you can send notifications to people when you post. And I think I've almost got that one configured. So think about this. You post something on your page, and every person that follows your page, they'll get a notification and say, hey, so-and-so just posted something on their page. That's going to give you a way better opportunity for them to check it out. Better than email, better than anything else. So I think I'll be able to get that done this week.
So you're saying that advertising a special would probably be better to do on Facebook, did you say? Or
depending on what the special is, Facebook is brilliant for advertising. It's not so good for just posting something on your page and hoping that it works. You need to advertise that. And the best advertising right now is Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram is so inexpensive to advertise on. They only allowed it 3 months ago. But I'm getting I'm getting 5 clicks for 1 penny. 5 opt-ins for 1 penny. That is insane, and they're not going to allow us to continue to do that. They're going to change that pretty quickly. What else? All right, guys. Thank you for coming. I hope you were able to learn some things about your accounts. I hope you back your Facebook accounts up. And these slides will be available if you want to skim through them. And I'll certainly be available for any questions or whatever if you want me to look at your stuff.
I have one more question. So, do you have, on any of your marketing stuff, do you have videos that you post? I mean, do you have videos?
You know, I have a ton of videos, but they're all on goal setting, self-discipline, having plans. I just started doing stuff like this because I hired people to help me with it, and they're no good. I'm doing better than they are. And so if I can impart some ideas on people that I've learned, I've thought about rolling out an academy to where I'll show you how to use Canva. I'll show you exactly how to put the images in there. I'll show you exactly how to upload the videos. I'll show you exactly how to put the pixels on your website.